NBA Draft and Rocket Mortgage Classic Bomb edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match, and when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS.
Finally, Big Earn is above the law. It's a great.
Bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
Everyone! You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum. Put that on camera. You're a creep.
Bad luck just seeing a thing like that.
I am not a fucking loser!
You lost it all.
No. Yeah. Technically.
Technically.
All right. Hold on. What the hell's going on? There we All right, welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs, the show with picks with bits for tobacco use only. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy, the Bet Detective. Scumbagger Vance. The man in the box, CJ Sullivan. We're coming to you live from beautiful Eagle Rock, California, in Los Angeles area on this Wednesday, January 25th, live, a little after 1 o'clock Pacific. This is what I'm broadcasting live. I announce all the details to buy time, realizing it only affects a certain amount of people that are in the live chat. But I like to cater to the people in the live chat because you make the show go. You can listen whenever, which I appreciate. Subscribing to the podcast, but it's also a live experience. And if you're listening on X, hop on over to the YouTube. You can join this chat, just like John, who says, "What's up, Bet Detective?" He's here right away. You got a bomb, Johnny. But if you're listening in the car and doing all that, it doesn't matter anyway. It's a nice, beautiful day here as the summer has come full throttle. I guess it's a heat wave everywhere, except Los Angeles. Los Angeles is weird like that. We don't get hot when everyone else gets hot. It's too hack, too cliche. We get hot like in October. Then we get really hot. Like anyone can do heat now in June and July. We don't do that stuff. But apparently it is hot everywhere. Air conditioning season. I love air conditioning season though. I always hate to, obviously I don't do well outside in the heat, but I do very well in the air conditioning. I think air conditioning is not rated enough. It should have its own. I mean, I don't even want it to have its own, section there at Sears or the Sears. I'm dating myself with Sears, but you know what I mean. Your Targets and whatnot. It should be its own store. My dream, especially when I was in Chicago, those summers get very hot. I wanted my entire apartment to be air conditioning, but like from the floor going up, kind of like one of those simulated skydiving rides. You ever see those things where when they simulate skydiving and the fan you're in the suit and just blowing, you're floating in the air. I would like that in my apartment. Everything is blowing me and my furniture up in the air, and I just circling around in the gorgeous, gorgeous central air conditioning. Not just central. I mean, full throttle fans, BTUs, if you will. If you ever seen the documentary Hands on a Hard Body, one of the greatest documentaries ever made, I recommend you see it if you have not. It's about real quickly, it's about it's a summer day in Texas, and a radio contest where you have to put your hands on a pickup truck, and the last ones to take their hand off it gets the truck. little radio contest. And there's a documentary, and it lasts like weeks. I don't think they didn't know. What makes the documentary great is they didn't know what was happening, that they were going to actually experience it. They were unprepared. There was no medical personnel. It was crazy. I don't even want to get into it. But it's also a study on these people in the small towns in Texas. And, you know, there are a lot of good characters. And one of them says he got like this air conditioning unit he bought got a good buy on it. And he said it could power the entire Kmart. An entire Kmart it could power. He got one of those in his house. And that guy was my hero. I should pull out some hard body quotes for my soundboard. But anyway, it is a great day. I took a walk this morning. I haven't done that in a while. The old morning walk changes the whole day around. Anyway, we got a big show today. It is NBA draft night tonight. I'm wearing my NBA draft shirt, which is a ridiculous shirt. Let me lock in on it for you guys watching. I mean, because the NBA, that's part of the pageantry of the NBA draft. It's different than the NFL draft. The NBA draft, you got these really tall, awkward teenagers who are about to be millionaires, or in this case, they're already millionaires, wearing the most misshapen fashion faux pas suits possible. It's always fun to look back at all this. They always, you know, it's a fashion show. It's New York. It's NBA. NBA is just a little different that way with the fashion. So I thought I'd wear an ugly shirt. Bretzer said he wondered about the shirt. Yeah, wonder no more. It's my NBA draft shirt. This is a shirt I want to look back on when doing NBA draft bombs and say, that's disgustingly ugly. Actually, though, I had this shirt purchased for $5 though, since I will talk about it. That's when you know you're ashamed of it. When you have to immediately announce how much you paid for it. It was on sale. Was that a Men's Warehouse, I want to say, up in Beverly? The old $5 and $10 discount round, formerly $80 for $150 for $5, sure. Then you see, like, yeah, okay. It needs a blazer over it. This should not be a shirt without a blazer. I just realized. Anyway, not the point. Anyway, we have the NBA draft bombs. I'll get into that with my NBA shirt. Also, the Rocket Mortgage Classic is a golf tournament happening this weekend in Detroit. I'll have a few plays on that. Man in a Box segment. Even a few baseball. We did okay on baseball. But first, let me tell you about NASCAR. It's in season. We're having an in-season tournament. Free contest. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NASCAR contest for your chance to win a $200 gift card. And make sure you subscribe to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. That is a good podcast. If you bet on NASCAR, and I do occasionally, I don't listen to me, obviously, but I listen to them and a few other people, and they know what they're talking about. So anyway, like I said, let's talk a little baseball real quick. Let's tout my baseball series plays on Monday. We dipped our toe in the series plays. I gave out 3. 2 of them are already winners. How about that? Bink. Ship it. Let me hit this thing. There you go. We gave you the Angels over the Red Sox at plus money. They're plus 125, I think they were. They won the first 2 games. So that series is a winner. We gave the Braves at minus 120 over the Mets. They won the first 2 games. So that series is over. Those are 2 winners. The other one was the Cubs versus the Cardinals. Not looking good, but like I said, that's a 4-game series. There's a chance to get a push out of that. Even if we don't get the push, even if we go 2-1, we're still plus money because not only 2-1, but the Angels being a dog helped out a lot. So go Cubs. I think they win tonight. Doesn't matter. I do like a couple baseball plays, and I'll give out real quick. First, I want to talk about that White Sox game situation. Oh my God. Speaking of summers in Chicago, yesterday, Marte for Arizona was seen crying on the mound. He's an infielder crying on the mound. And the coach was like consoling him. We're like, what the hell's going on in that pitcher's meeting and out there on the mound? And it was just a weird situation. Turns out a White Sox fan was heckling him so much that he cried. Now, he might have stepped over the line a little bit by referencing his dead mother, who not only passed away, but died in a car accident. And a White Sox fan heckled him using that information. Obviously, he stepped the line, and I've been to many White Sox games. I believe it. That not at one point did anyone say, "There's no way." Not even the White Sox. No one thought like, "Oh, come on, he has to be." There's no way they said that. No, he said it for sure, 100%. White Sox game, yeah, no, of course he said it. Luckily, they found him. He's been banned, whatever that means. I never know how the stadiums enforce the bannings. It's something. It's a good headline to say that you were banned from White Sox games or whatever. How are they going to keep him out? There's a blacklist or whatever, a black book. I mean, some kind of list. Blacklist. Yeah, blacklist. That makes sense. I'd like to get together. And they also, Chicago, really put another step forward. They played today. I think they're playing right now, actually. They were winning 4-2. And they put a thing on the scoreboard. We stand with Marte. Baseball's a family. Dear White Sox. Sorry about the whole making fun of your dead mom thing in a car accident, but we're family. We have the Pope here. It's kind of a Chicago blessing we do, a little South Side blessing, if you will. So sorry if that got misconstrued. Anyway, no hard feelings, right, buddy? But I always would love that when someone gets banned from a stadium. I kind of wanted to do. Maybe I can get SGPN Films to do a thing. Maybe I'll talk to Sean and Ryan about that. But I wanted to do a documentary where I hunt down people that have been banned from stadiums, because I bet their stories are amazing. I bet their lives are great. A lot of it's drinking involved, obviously. Maybe I'll get it done for the Blackout Diaries, the other podcast I do with Sean Flynn. Make sure you check out that. Can I get those books opened up? Is that a Freedom of Information Act kind of a thing? Like if I demanded UCLA open up the books of who's banned from the Rose Bowl, because Colby Dant is apparently in that book, Pick Dundee.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I enjoyed that.
Ronnie Pasco, welcome to the chat. He says, I remember the white trash guys that beat up the first base coach years ago. Not only, versus the Royals, Gamboa, whatever his name was, the first base coach. Not only was it two White Sox guys, white trash guys, Ron Pasco, that was a father-son duo. That was the ultimate Southside. Those guys are probably fucking aldermen now in the Southside. And I think the one guy stabbed him, right? Absolute terrible. Terrible. That was father-son. That was definitely a White Sox game. Feach, welcome to the chat. He says, imagine it means those White Sox fans attacked the first base coach at 25. Exactly. I mean, that's what it looked like. 100%. It is absolutely correct. That was there was a hostile time there before the Cubs got, I don't want to say good, but there was a dead era for the Cubs as well. Before Sammy Sosa resurrected him, and Sammy Sosa made his comeback there last weekend, which is what a weird relationship he had. I remember the fans, because that bullpen is right there in Wrigley too, and the fans attacked the pitcher. The pitcher attacked them, and he grabbed his hat. That's what it was, and the pitcher started fighting them. And it's both sides, but it's definitely the South Side is definitely dirtier and more scumbag. They're more rough and tough, if you will. But yeah, I would love to open up the list of all people that have been booked. To just find these people, what their stories were, what their situation was. What is that line? I also like that when there's a fan base that's unruly. And I grew up in Philadelphia area going to Philly games. I'm no stranger to fans being terrible and crossing the line. And it's always funny when that moment, because they're always trying to one-up each other. I think they're heckling kind of in a section, trying to be funny, trying to say some kind of heckling, and then everyone turns on you, your own fans, and you realize you went too far. Whoa, we don't do that, buddy. Whoa, his mom died in a car accident, you son of a bitch. What? I thought we were on the same team here. I thought we were trying to pull for the White Sox. Look, it worked. He's crying. Yeah, I know he's crying, but come on. I was at the Eagles Tampa Bay playoff game, the NFC Championship game, actually, the one where McNabb threw a 90-yard interception to Rondé Barber, which took 45 seconds for him to go to across the end zone, across the field, where Joe Jaravicious lit us up. And Joe Jaravicious, I remember, had a sick kid or a dying kid anyway. Let's just say one of the Philly fans brought that up. Not that Jaravicious could hear him. It's a little different at a football game, but our section heard it for sure. And we all turned on him like, oh, okay. Oh, whoa, that's something we don't need right there. It's always great. And then everybody's, just pushing. I don't know. Who's to say how bad we can be and how bad we're not allowed? I didn't know. It's like porn in Supreme Court, as they define it. You know it when you see it. What's too far into heckling? You'll know. Anytime you're bringing up dead family members, that's a good start. And if they die in a tragic way, if they're like in a car accident, or if it's a child, yeah, you're probably going to want to sit on that one. Or we'll get you banned. Anyway. Fun baseball story. The Pope. Southsider Pope. How about that? Anyway, as far as baseball tonight, I'll give you a couple quick plays. We hit our Braves first five as well. My play of the day last show. We're on these Braves. These Mets are just an absolute disaster. I like the Mets today, though. I think they do not get swept by Atlanta. And they got Holmes throwing, Clay Holmes, who's been amazing. And Fuentes for the Braves is not over a 70 RA. It's minus 155. If you want to eat the juice, I want to parlay that with Cleveland at minus 120 at home. They're going against Max Scherzer in Toronto. Max Scherzer's first start since a while ago. Max Scherzer is fried. So I want to cash in on any Max Scherzer starts I can while you can. Now, he could come back and be Max Scherzer because he's an absolute psychopath, but that's my two baseball plays today. Mets and Cleveland. Minus 155, minus 120. You can parlay it up for a plus 200 play if you like. Boom, boom, boom. Bomb it. Brettster said he was at that Eagles Tampa Bay game, the one where Deuce scored early. He sure did. It was opening kickoff. Listen, that was one of the, I've told this story many times. I don't know if I have. I'll tell it. I got time. Let me do an ad read first, and I'll come back and I'll tell that Eagles Tampa Bay story, and then I'll get into the NBA draft. But first, let me tell you about mybookie.ag, our sports book representing SGPN. I gotta fix these slides. They're old sports now that basketball season's over with. Anyway. MyBookies, you place the bet on every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, course, football, futures, accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit. A bet I like on MyBookie, I just told you it. Give me Cleveland minus 120 versus Max Scherzer in Toronto. Bink that. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, get a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. It's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And of course, the Circa contest giveaway. Got to talk about Circa. I'm going there in a little bit to update my $20 to $20 million. Place my next $20 $20 million bet. That's Circa, July 4th weekend. It's a great place. But they're also doing a fantasy football giveaway. 12-person league draft. All of you get rooms at the Circa and a limo ride. $5,000 cash, or tab at least, at Stadium Swim. And if you don't win that, you can always get 15% off at all Circa properties with promo code SGP15. But get in that giveaway. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Circa. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/CIRCA. Yeah, we're back here. Let me tell you, since in honor of you, Brettster, at being at that last game, the Eagles Tampa Bay game. It was the last game at the Vet, as you probably remember, Veteran Stadium. And all week long, we were the favorite. Another NFC Championship lost by the Eagles as favorites. Andy Reid liked to rack those up. It was more Donovan McNabb's fault now, looking back, but Yeah, Tampa Bay never won when the temperature was over 30 degrees. They kept saying that all week. Like they were 0-45 in cold weather. What they didn't tell you was Tampa Bay has only been good for a couple of years. I mean, they with Warren Sapp and Tony Dungy. But anyway, they had Gruden. They had Gruden at that time because they won the Super Bowl. Opening kickoff, place was going crazy. Brian Mitchell brought it to the 20, then Deuce got caught at the 20. Deuce Staley scored the next play, touchdown. Place is going crazy. Then then it was awful for 3 straight hours. And it was the last day at the Vet, and you thought Eagle fans would have been like, ripping the place apart and just being violent, but they weren't. They were more just like defeated and like dead. It was literally like a funeral. They didn't even have the energy to fight each other, which it was shocking to me as a Philly fan. Usually you see some good, fun, drunken brawls, even with each other, no matter what happens. But that was such a deflating loss. And then speaking of moms who died, my mom was having surgery the next morning to have a breast removed. It was our first bout with cancer. She since died, not from there, but first cancer or some kind of tumor removal. Anyway, it was a surgery. It was definitely an operation that we all had to be all hands on deck. The whole family was there, and we drove. I'll never forget this. Driving the next morning over to Philadelphia because I live in South Jersey. 5, 6 in the morning because the surgery is early, and the city was. It looked like a zombie town. Dead, black, gray, green trash flying everywhere. All the bridges were lit up green before. Now they're all the bulbs were going out. Everything was depressed. We go to the hospital. The nurses are depressed. The doctor was depressed. The doctor's prepping us like, man, did you see that game yesterday? What the fuck? We're like, yeah, doc, it was a shame. McNabb sucks, but you're going to snap out of it, right? That was, yesterday here. Now we got to operate my mom, so can we, stop talking about the Rondé Barber interception maybe? Yeah, I know, but what's the point? It's like they'll never go to the Super Bowl. Okay. Surgery went well. But anyway, I'll never forget that situation. And the Joe Jaraviches. And then, Brettster, you probably remember the next season, they opened up the Link, the new stadium, on Monday night versus Tampa Bay in a revenge game. Sly Stallone was there doing his Rocky thing, and Tampa Bay won again. And that's how that went. All right. Now let's talk a little NBA draft. And we have the NBA draft tonight, and there's a lot of plays to make on it. There's going to be a white guy taking number 1 overall. What?
Give it up for the exciting whites!
That's right. It's Cooper Flag Day. Flag Day, if you will, as New Balance. Of course, he signed a sneaker deal with New Balance. You got to love that.
Cultural gap.
Yeah, it is. Big time.
I like Cooper Gap leaning into this white thing. Who gets a shoe deal with New Balance and for basketball anyway? Good for him. I was trying to think of how many number 1 overall NBA draft picks have been white. And I mean, post 1940s or whatever, when everyone legally had to be white. Before Set Shot Sammy and his hair pomade and shit like that. And were they any good? Just looking back here, the NBA draft is hilarious in general. Because the picks, there's only a couple people that are good sometimes. Sometimes it's deep. Sometimes it's like nobody's good. Last year's pick, I was trying to think of last year's number 1 overall pick. You couldn't give me $1,000. Remember last year's number 1 overall pick. It's Regisseur, whatever. He's a Frenchman. Went to Atlanta. He was fine. Anyway, then Wembyana, Banchero, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards. These are all good number 1 picks. Zion, a little questionable. DeAndre Ayton, bad. Markelle Fultz, bad. Ben Simmons, bad. These are all number 1 overall picks. Sixers with nice back-to-back Fultz and Simmons, by the way. I think Karl-Anthony Towns, Wiggins. Anthony Bennett, one of the worst number 1 picks of all time in 2013. AD, good. Kyrie Irving, good. John Wall, good. Blake Griffin, good. Derrick Rose, great. Odin, injury problems. Here we go. 2006 was your last exciting way with Andrea Bargnani for the Raptors. And before that, back-to-back, Andrew Bogut.
Give it up for the exciting Whites.
Andrew Bogut, a solid NBA player, not number one draft status. Dwight Howard, LeBron James, Yao Ming, not officially white, but if we're doing the Dave Chappelle racial draft, I think we should claim him. For this exercise, at least, I'm saying, okay, we're taking Yao Ming. Take it or leave. I don't care what you say. And then you got to go way back. There's another back-to-back actually in the 70s. Bill Walton and Doug Collins. That's your peak. That's your peak duo. Then you're done. But anyway. So it'll be interesting. It'll be Cooper Flagg. He's obviously going number one. The New Balance shoes. As Ronnie Pasco says, Cooper Flagg must love comfortable shoes. You're damn right. I wear New Balance sometimes. I wear all Codas. Anything that, I've given up on fashion on shoes a long time ago. I used to rock shoes for, how they look. Now it's comfort only. I didn't realize with New Balance, when Trump won, I guess, I don't know, the CEO of New Balance supports Trump. I don't know. Something happened where people were burning New Balance shoes or something, and people were yelling at me. You support Nazis. I support arches, sir. This has great arch support. Walk a mile in my shoes, I say. You'll find them very comfortable. Thank you very much. Do you remember that for like a window? People were burning New Balance shoes, which is hilarious. Meanwhile, Nike's got child fucking slavery in China making their damn things. Why don't you send those New Balance shoes over to the children making your damn Nikes? They could probably use it. They're barefoot. I also love when people want to pick and choose what companies to boycott because they found out that billionaire isn't good, or that billionaire didn't vote for who they voted for. Who do you think he's going to vote for? He's a billionaire. He'd be a moron not to try to keep all that money. Anyway, but I agree, Ronnie Pasco. New Balance, very comfortable shoes. There's a lot of trades yesterday. Before I get into the draft selections, the Celtics traded away Drew Holiday. They traded Porzingis. Before that, you had a Desmond Bain with all the second-round picks and a Kevin Durant with the second-round picks. The Bain's first-round picks, Durant's second-round picks. There's second-round picks in these, too. I think the Holiday one, the Blazers had to give up second-round picks, which is what? I love NBA trades. I said this before. It's all about bookmaking and bookkeeping. I should say bookkeeping. It's all about avoiding taxes. People are like, the Celtics won. Why? Because they got rid of salary. They dumped salary. Hey, Timmy, stop crying. I got good news. I know your favorite player got traded. I know you loved Porzingis. You had the jersey. He was your favorite player. He helped us win a championship. But wait till you hear this, Timmy. We, the Celtics, avoid tax penalties. Can you believe it?
Finally, Big Earn is above the law. It's a great.
And it's the way they talk about it. Who won the trade? Who won the trade? Portland just wanted to take on money so then they can get rid of money. Like, how are we supposed to get excited for other people's taxes? And that's what it is. Oh, the second apron. And then the second round picks. The NBA draft, which is tonight, and tomorrow's the second round. There's nothing more worthless than those second round picks. Case in point, those 5 that were given for Kevin Durant. They're take more, take 10. We don't want them. Portland's like, take our second round picks. What? We're giving you Drew Holiday. I know. Take our second round picks, please. It's like dropping books off at a library. Like I said, the library or even bookstores, like, put them back in your car. We don't have room for these things. Well, we don't want to hang out for another day in New York. We didn't book 2 nights, so we need to get out of here after the first day. So someone's got to use them. It's like these will go bad, right? If we don't use these second round picks. I know. CJ McCollum on the Wiz. From Pelicans to Wiz is such a great flop. And then Jordan Poole is now over there. Features him being in a salary dump is hilarious. It's just amazing. It really is. And they're not happy, nor should they be. Which brings us to tonight, the NBA draft. And they like the trades in the NBA draft as well. Over under 3.5 trades made during the draft night tonight. I'm taking the over. It's minus 120, but I'm bombing the over. That's a fun prop. NBA draft day trades are hilarious because they're not like the NFL draft. The NFL draft, commissioner goes up there and be like, the Eagles just traded with the Jaguars. All right? The Jaguars just traded up, took the Eagles pick. The Eagles get second round and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the Jaguars pick their person. But the NBA, for some reason, the rules are everyone has to draft where they're at. And if you want to trade, you do it after the fact. Just don't tell us because we have everything set. All the stationery set. We have the hats lined up. Don't mess up anything. So you basically have to do this like gentleman's agreement with the other teams. Like, okay, draft my guy for you. I'll draft your guy. Later we'll switch hats. So many times like a player will get drafted. He'll be getting interviewed and they're like, oh, you're not actually playing for the Bucks, right? You've been traded. But just pretend the Bucks traded you. Are you happy about Milwaukee? Well, I was, I guess. I don't know. No, I'm not. Am I? You tell me. So let's take over 3.5 on that. It's like a secret thing. You have to have trust. It's a two-person draft, I say. So it's Cooper Flag number 1, Dylan Hunter number 2. And then once the Sixers start, you never know what the Sixers are going to do at 3. Sixers have such a long history of fucking up the draft. People say they should take Ace Bailey, who is the second best player from Rutgers. Okay. A Rutgers team. How did they have the number 3 pick and get the second best team for Rutgers? Ace Bailey has not been working out for teams. He told the Sixers to go to hell, which is kind of interesting strategy. Not recommended. But I kind of see where he's coming from. Why should I work out for you? You're awful. There's no other job where the best available employees go to work for the worst company. But that's what the draft's all about. That's why the draft is kind of an illegal, to be honest with you. But I get why they do it. I think Ace Bailey goes to the Wizards at number 6. So I played that at plus 140. It's kind of around there too. That's why I like to do. Obviously, when I'm making NBA draft bets, you don't want. Obviously, they limit some of them. You don't want to go too crazy because you never know with all this information. But it can be fun. It makes it fun. It keeps it interesting. Speaking of those NBA trades, I remember the Sixers had the number 2 pick. This is years ago. Now, this is before they fucked up the Markelle Fultz, where they could have Jason Tatum, the Ben Simmons disaster, all those things. They've have such a long history of shooting themselves in the foot on draft day. They won the championship in 83 and had the number 1 pick in 1984. Can you imagine? You imagine if OKC had the number 1 pick this year and had Cooper Flag? That's what it would have been like. But what did the Sixers do after winning the title? They traded that pick and Moses Malone. It would have been Brad Daugherty. They got Jeff Ruland instead. His fucking kneecaps. Anyway. But one year, this is what I wanted to say. The Sixers had the number 2 pick. Orlando had 1. Golden State had number 3. And that was the year. It was Chris Webber, who went number 1, and Penny Hardaway. Problem was, Orlando had the number 1 pick, but they didn't want Chris Webber because they had Shaq. So they didn't need 2 guys in the post clunking it up out there. But since he's Chris Webber, you have to take him number 1 because he's the number 1 pick. He was obviously the number 1 guy. They wanted Penny Hardaway. Shaq loved them. They filmed Blue Chips over the summer. He's like, get me Penny Hardaway. He says, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll take Chris Webber number 1, and whoever's behind us, We'll draft Penny Hardaway, and then we will trade with them and get a little value because that's how that works. So the Sixers number 2 would obviously be the number 1 candidate to draft Penny Hardaway. But they decided, what if Orlando was pulling a little rope-a-dope with them and they decided not to trade afterwards? This is where the trustworthiness comes from. Then what are they going to do? Then they're going to be quote unquote stuck with Penny Hardaway. God forbid. You get that all-star. So to outsmart the Magic and the NBA, they drafted Sean Bradley instead, a 7'6" Mormon who weighed 180 pounds, who spent the last 3 years of his life in Africa doing his mission for Mormonism, hasn't played basketball in 4 years, and didn't even look like a human being. God bless Sean Bradley. But so they did that because they didn't want to get stuck with Penny Hardaway. So Golden State drafted Penny Hardaway, and then they wound up trading Weber for him. Weber went to Golden State, became amazing. Penny Hardaway went to Orlando, was amazing. And we had Sean Bradley drinking 20 gallons of Metrics every day, trying to put on 5 pounds. Shout out to Sean Bradley, though. Good guy. He got paralyzed in a bike accident. Anyway, let's move on. All right. That's the point. So, all right. So we have Ace Bailey, number 6 overall, plus 140, over 3.5 trades. Jeremiah Fears is another player I like. A lot of buzz going him to number 5 overall to Utah. That number is not sexy enough for me to take. I will take his under 6.5 though. Anytime you get those guys in the buzz, are going you want to play that. Under 6.5 is a minus 105. Play that one. And how about this Noah Esenwenge guy? He's been a story today at the draft. He's a Frenchman. A lot of French invasions going on here. He left his team. He's playing in the German league right now. They're in the finals. They're up 2-1, and he left them to come tonight to wear an awkward suit. Now, granted, he's only averaging a couple points a game. His over-under is 9.5. It's heavily juiced in 9, but would he leave? Would he leave his team in the finals if he wasn't guaranteed? Was someone didn't promise him a little handshake deal? Hey, we're going to take you top 10? I think so. I think Toronto, an international city, they love thinking they're better than everyone. I'm going to take a stab here. You could do the under 9.5 at plus 175, or you could just take him to be taken north overall at plus 220. Because as I'm looking at the board now, Raptors 9, he's not going to go to the Rockets at 10. Or 8. Oh, the Nets could take him at 8 too. All right, let's just go under 9.5 plus 175. Bomb that. Because something's up. I don't think you leave your team in Germany to show up to New York to shake the Crypt Keeper's hands on stage. Adam Silver, who looked terrible in that OKC game. Looked like Skeletor or, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, that Nazi when his face bled. That's what Silver looks like. Anyway, that's what he's coming over to. So that's Ace Bailey, 6 overall, over 3.5 trades. Fears, under 6.5. Esewenge, under 9.5. And let's take one more stab. Trey Johnson, who I like from Texas, 8th overall, is plus 850. Bomb that. I think either the Nets take him, I think the Nets might take him for the Sixers. I don't think the Sixers are drafting anybody at number 3. They really shouldn't. Why? Because they have so much money spent, like on Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey, that they don't want to pay someone who's get drafted number 3. So they're going to have to do one of those handshake deals. Hey, help us out. Sean Marks in Brooklyn. You take our guy. We'll give you your guy.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
So I do. There's a lot of buzz with the Sixers going with Trey Johnson, but I think it happens at number 8. So why not a plus 850? That's a good little stab. So there it is. There's a little fun action to watch the NBA draft. Just some bombs. Just some bombs to get out of the way. Brettster says you can't bet the draft in Pennsylvania. That's probably a good thing. No need to cross the Betsy Ross, Brettster, to go to Jersey to make these bets. As a matter of fact, don't watch the draft at all. Talk to your family. I'm just kidding. I'm going to be watching it. But let me tell you about Underdog. Let me get Underdog. Slide up there. It's somewhere around here. Da, 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 da. Underdog, the best ball mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million in first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog, also a great place to play pick'em. Sign up with promo code BOMBS. Claim your special pick, first time deposit up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. My lady Underdog entry did not work. So. Also brought to you by Rhythm. The rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. With props. You've heard me talking about them before. They're AI detected patterns where the rhythms model consistently one high ROA. Now they got a new thing called Power Trends. It's updated daily, exclusive to the Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data backed bets. Data. Hey, swing data, swing. Download the Rhythm app. Check out our Power Trends. Start betting smarter. You know we will be. Get your 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And we're back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy's Bet Detective. Man in the box, CJ Sullivan. That's a clump throat. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on our NBA Draft and Rocket Classic Mortgage Edition. Oh, baseball bombs, the chat room. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the thumbs up. All right? Have your phone tell my phone that you like it. That's how these things work. I need help with that. I need numbers. I need everything. Who knows? Like I said, it's the summer. We have golf. All right, let's get into some golf. Let's get into a little golf Rocket Mortgage Classic. It's not exactly called that anymore. It used to be called the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Now I think it's just a Rocket Classic. But anyway, let's play golf. And there it is. There's your 3 golf sound effects. The Rocket Mortgage Classic is in Detroit. As I said before, it's always fun. I think the LPGA there this weekend too. Short field, not short field, short favorite. I think Colin Morikawa is the favorite. Is that right? Is he 14-1? He is not a guy I'll be looking to play. There was a let me take a look at. Let me go look at the odds real quick at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Yeah, Morikawa is the favorite, 13-1. Then Cantlay, 15-1. Ben Griffin, 18-1. Cam Young, Keegan Bradley, Hideki Matsuyama, Harry Hall, Siwoo Kim, Wyndham Clark. Man, when Wyndham Clark's in your top thing, I like Wyndham Clark this week. But now this course, it's all driving and putting. Your classic drive, chip, putt. That's it. No irons. You need to bomb it off the tee. Cam Davis has won this thing twice just for doing that. We'll toss him in there as well. I want to go to a lot of Cams this week. Did you see Colin Morikawa today? He's like the Asian Rory. I'm not sure what he is because he's becoming a little whiny. He got into it with a reporter today about some article about him playing before with celebrity pros. I don't know what the fuck it was, but he's always bitching about something. But he's a guy I want to fade. We're certainly not playing him as the favorite. And plus his game has been a mess. He's fired 2 caddies this week, like last couple of weeks. Philosophical differences with your caddy. Okay. I mean, golfers and caddies are weird, but all right. So real quick, I'll just do this. Another guy I want to fade is Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley won the Travelers last week. And if you didn't watch that, a huge comeback against our guy. Why do I want to keep saying Terrell Hatton? Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood choked. Keegan Bradley won. He's from New England. The tournament was in New England. The place was going crazy for him. He's the captain, the Ryder Cup captain. I mean, for him, winning that tournament last week is like winning a major. He partied all weekend. He even said so for whatever their party is. He arrived in Detroit today. That's not a good sign. Go practice. He shouldn't even. I can't even believe he's playing in this. He said he got to go home. There's a place in New England. He got to go home, see his family, hang out, partied. He's tired. Celebrate a little bit. It's been a great 48 hours. It's a whirlwind. Reporter goes, I was going to say, how's your energy levels? Got to take a lot out of you. Oh, yeah. It's better than I had in the past, but certainly low. There's been times where I've won and I haven't really slept for, been a while. You're just amped up. Maybe I'll sleep well tonight. That's a guy I'm not playing. To miss the cut, Keegan Bradley's plus 300. Let's bomb that. But my absolute smash play, C-Generates, is in a matchup. And I already mentioned him. Ben Griffin. I like Ben Griffin anyway. I'm playing him top 10 at plus 250. Let me see if I got that there. Yeah, plus 250. He has had 3. Where the hell are my other notes? I keep missing my notes. He's made 3 top 10s in his last 5 tournaments he's played. But anyway, so I'll play him top 10 plus 250, but also Ben Griffin versus Keegan Bradley in a matchup is my super smash play. That's it. That's all you need to know. It's minus 109 each way. Hammer Ben Griffin over Keegan Bradley. Another matchup, can't lay over Morikawa. I don't mind that. Top 10s, we're going to go Davis Thompson, plus 360. I already mentioned Ben Griffin and Wyndham Clark. And I'll give you 2 long shots, 1 winner for the Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit, also known as the Rocket Classic. This is from your golf guru, Scumbag Vance. 2 long shots, Cameron Champ at 120-1, Cameron Davis 75-1. Cam Davis, just because he's won this thing twice, I don't want to be there. If he wins it 3 times, I'll feel like a fool if I miss out on that. So it's 75-1, you sprinkle a little bit of that. 120-1, Cam Champ. Now these are guys that can bomb it off the tee, and if they make putts, you're in it. So you're not going to get those odds anywhere else. But my pick for the winner, the third Cam, the Cam Show. Cam Young, 25-1, bomb it. He's made for this course. He's got course history. We've been playing him and losing. He was near the top 10. We had him top 10 last week. He was near there, and then he dropped like the 56 last day. But I don't care. With this field, Cam Young, I can't quit you. This is the time we're doing it. Cam Young, 25-1 to win the Rocket Mortgage Classic, along with the Ben Griffin matchups, and that will be a nice profitable weekend before we get ready for the British Open. This is Scumbag Vance, and that's in the cup. There it is. And that'll be it for the golf analysis from Scumbag Vance. Ricky Fowler is on the big screen, but he was last year's champ. That's 2023. You're right, Ronnie Pasco. I put Fowler in the window in the thumbnail. I don't like to reveal my play on the thumbnail. That way they don't click on. You gotta know how to work the thing. But he was last year's winner. Plus, you can only get certain photos that are licensed, whatever, blah blah blah. You know how the YouTube works. Bretzer says last night his 4-year-old niece told him, please like and subscribe. That's too much YouTube. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Beep, beep, beep. All right. Where are we at as far as show-wide? All right, let's give out golf bombs. We gave out NBA draft bombs. We gave some baseball bombs. We've recapped about dead moms and heckling fans. We've done a lot. Time we get in the box. I'm liking my NBA draft shirt on the close-up can, to be honest with you. I don't think it needs a blazer. Look at it. I'll stand by this. Why not? I do have a $20 to $20 million update. C-generates. As you know, we're around 7,000 on the $20 to $20 million after we lost the hockey parlay, the hockey hiccup. But I am going to Vegas with Ryan Kramer. We're driving together. This time I'm going to be a passenger. Go out there with him in July 4th weekend, like I said. And I'm going to place a bet. Now, if you are subscribed to the Bottom Line Bombs on iTunes or Spotify, wherever pods are told, you'll know on Fridays you get a little bonus episode, which is only $20 to $20 million stuff. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. So very digestible. So you guys get a little sneak peek in there. But our next play, it's going to be on the British Open. My British Open play is in there, and it'll be on there on that Friday. He's just a good guy. Good story. Actually, I already mentioned. Well, I'll pop it in there. We're going to take Tommy Fleetwood. He's 20-1. We'll put 200 on it. If it wins, that's 4,000. That's exactly the parlay we catch up for the parlay we missed. That's how you chase. There's a lot of analysis why I got into it, mainly because I like his style. He choked last week, but he's faced the media unlike Rory. He's going back north on a bunch of things. His wife is 23 years older than him. Unlike it's Ricky Fowler, Ronnie Pasco, who says he hopes Fowler's wife is on the screen. But Laddie, Tommy Fleetwood, he also he had a quote that I liked. I'm like, this is going to be my guy. I just wanted to pick one guy for the British Open. A little dart, you know. If it hits, it hits. Doesn't, no big deal. He's never won on the PGA Tour. Ever. Like, he's 0 for like 150. Something crazy. But he goes, in my mind, I've won a lot. I know I've never won, but in my mind, I've won a ton. Like, that's all I need to hear. I like that delusion, because that's a delusion we have, is on our way to 20 million. So hopefully he bounces back. That's going to be our play. Anyway, where was I? Let's box stuff, right? Again, thank you for everybody who joined the chat. You guys know who you are. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Insta at CJ Sullivan was taken, underscore in between each word, or on X at CJ Sullivan _, Bottom Line Bombs, YouTube, TikTok, the whole damn thing. Yesterday I had a little ad video for the proxies. Did a little acting in there, along with some Man in the Box segment. A lot of stuff comes out. So you got to subscribe. Shout out to the Foxy Proxy who liked it. I did some deep acting. If you watch that video, go to SGPN's Twitter or mine. I retweeted it as well. Yesterday I did an ad for the proxies, blah blah blah. But I did some acting where I had the schedule as a blanket. I acted like I was hungover, and it was I'll go ahead and tout myself pretty damn good. Much like Jim Carrey, he channeled Andy Kaufman. Like, you couldn't even call him Jim. He was Andy Kaufman, you know? Or Val Kilmer became and channeled Jim Morrison. He was Jim Morrison for years. Didn't get work because of it. Or Daniel Day-Lewis had to be carried on set during My Left Foot because that's how method he was of his foot being amputated or whatever. I didn't see My Left Foot. But anyway, the point is, I'm better than all of them because I live the life. I am the bit. I've been training for fucking 40 years.
And once again, we apologize for CJ's language.
To play someone hungover who forgot to get his picks in before kickoff. All right? I know what that life is. So that was a role I was born to play, and I have been playing it. So we put on the cameras. Anyway, go check that out. Speaking of movies and acting, last time I was talking to Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. We saw that. Not really the best, but whatever. It is what it is. Last night, I watched the movie Sinners, the one everyone was saying is the greatest movie of all time. I avoided it in the theaters mainly because of that. I mean, I don't go out to theaters a lot, but anytime there's a movie where there's hyperbole like that, which seems to be a lot recently, it just seems like it's either the worst or the best. And when it's the best, it's insufferable when people think it's the best. I'm like, I can't be in an audience that are already there loving this movie before you even see it. And that's what that becomes. You are not allowed to publicly say that Sinners was a bad movie. The movie with Michael B. Jordan and, he plays two guys, right? He plays the twin brothers. Ryan Coogler, the director. And I like Ryan Coogler. I like Michael B. Jordan. I like all these people just fine. It's like a 1920s or 30s Mississippi. And then there's vampires involved and I don't even know what these were. They're zombies and vampires. But as John pulls out, they ask a lot. I'll say that. No, I get it. I'm giving into imagination when we're talking vampires and stuff like that. But even then, they're not following vampire rules. A lot of plot holes, as John says. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are just whipping in there for the hell of it. Then there's I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it seems like everyone in the world's already seen it. And I'm not saying it's bad. Stylistically, it's pretty cool. The music's good. But they ask a lot. And people are like, oh, you don't get the metaphor. I love being told that. You're not getting the metaphors. No, I got it. I got the metaphors. White people are the devil. I got that part, which I'm fine with. Hey, you want to write a movie and say white people are the devil? Good. You okay. You know what? You deserve to. I'm not even against that part. It's against a lot of these fucking flying vampires that also eat zombies, and some of them are cool. Like some are like, yeah, we'll let this guy go. He's got a good blues career ahead of him. What? I don't know. Then he just tossed in a revenge scene versus the Klan, who weren't even in the movie. In the beginning, this guy's like, yeah, are you part of the Klan? Nah, Klan doesn't exist. Then at the very end, this is really, I'm spoiling this for you because it has nothing to do with the fucking movie. It was just gratuitous, and I bet the crowd erupted when it happened. And then Michael Jordan just fucking lays to waste all these Klansmen, which is, always fun to watch, but we're like, well, how is this? Why is this happening? I thought vampires were the enemy. No, the Klan? I guess I'm not getting a metaphor. That's the metaphor. All the whites are the devils. The devils comfort all the whites.
Cultural gap.
Yeah, it is. Big time.
Ultimately, though, it was a good movie. I'm not saying it wasn't I'm not saying it was a bad movie. But not as good as people were saying it was. I'll just leave it at that, But hey, maybe I'm not your demographic. Maybe that's a segment. I'm not your audience, pal. That's a good segment. Hey, I'm not your audience. Ronnie says, spoil it. I'm not going to see it. LOL. I'm not saying it's not worth seeing. It's definitely worth seeing. But I do like saying that too. Yeah, you mind if I spoil this for me? Please spoil it for me. It'll check it off my list. I love when people spoil movies and TV shows for me. I'm not waiting to see anything. I just want to get it over with so I can talk to people. And another one of these things, I watched a movie. I'm like, I don't know what I thought about this. I have to read reviews to find out what I thought about this because you can't take your opinion public anymore without reading 10 reviews. You can't just say, hey, I didn't like it. I didn't really like the thing where 50 vampires were beat by the cook with a label and a spatula. I didn't like that part. What? You fucking moron. You didn't get the metaphors and whites are stealing the culture. Okay, all right. I was just saying, when it comes to vampire logic, some of it was flawed. All right? But once again, I'm not your audience. This is a great name for a segment. I'm not your audience. All right. Now, let me get out of the box before I get myself in more trouble. And a little Reeler's Choice theme music as well. All right, that is going to do it for today's show. Thank you, everybody who joined in the chat. Johnny, Ronnie, Brettster, Feach. Can't forget the feature presentation. I'm just going to do an all pun show next time. Maybe not. Channing Brown. I didn't shout you out before. You came in there with a little toast of a drink. Good for everybody. Appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe. I'll be back next week. A couple shows. I'm not doing a main show with the main guys today. Ryan and Sean, they are wiped out from all of the Colby Dant College previews. So we'll get some of those.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so next week, 2 more shows, and then the Vegas for a bunch of shows there. I will be joining the CFL maybe. Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows what's happening? And then the week after that, after the week of 4th of July, July 8th through 10th, that week we're all off of the network. That's the one vacation week. Then we come back ready for football and British Open. So I appreciate everyone who did join in and drove that. People are asking for more movie reviews in the chat. You know what? Summertime, it slows down in sports. You're going to get some movie reviews. I promise you that. I'll watch another movie. I'll tell you what. I want to watch the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie for next. I'll review that because that's on my queue as well. That's streaming now. And I guarantee you I will hate that as well. That's one. I didn't hate Sinners. But I will say I hate Paul Thomas Anderson audiences. Oh, my dear God. I like Paul Thomas Anderson just fine. But his audiences at a theater they're eating fruit. They're fucking laughing at jokes that aren't even jokes at the wrong time. Don't get me started. Once again, I'm not your audience. Anyway, I got to stop talking. All right, everyone, get in your cars and go home.
And I'll leave it at that.
And so will I.